Kia ora, I'm Quinlan of Tane's Tree Trust, and this is about managing naturally regenerated tōtara with what we're going to call freestyle silviculture.
Because natural forests are so variable, deciding what to do, where, is quite complex. It involves applying various silvicultural principles and approaches, and at a microspatial scale within the forest.
So this means doing everything that needs doing. That might be a combination of pruning, thinning, harvest, or weed control where needed, and releasing young saplings.
I have a sustainable forest management plan under Part 3A of the Forests Act. This allows some harvesting of tōtara, but I have multiple forest management objectives. It's not all about sustainable timber production.
Look at this. This is just so exciting to see. We've got pūriri, another one here, little one here. This regeneration. Here's another one. Tōtara, another half a dozen tōtara, pigeonwood, pūriri. This regeneration has all just happened in the last 3 years since we've been doing this very intensive pest control. It's just so satisfying to see.
Here's an example of the first management interventions in an untended, naturally regenerating tōtara forest. Before starting operations in the bush, it's good to say a karakia. I have also notified WorkSafe NZ online that tree felling will be undertaken. Here's the number. First, we need to assess the forest. The characteristics of a natural forest may vary every 10 metres or so. We simply have to work with what we've got. Assessments need to be carried out at the individual tree level. In poorly stocked areas, it's usually a case of finding and selecting potential crop trees and doing whatever is needed to them and around them. This may be freeing them from climbing vines, pruning and or thinning around them.
This tree's got a good crown, and I think I'll leave the surrounding kānuka because they might even push it up further, help develop the top log or get a longer bole. With a diameter of about 16.5 centimetres, I think I'll come back in about 60 years time and harvest this because it's right by the track, so it'll be dead easy. Usually once a tall bole has formed, the priority is then to thin around it to develop a big strong green crown. The criteria is simple. Any branches from surrounding trees that touch the crown of this tree, those trees should be thinned to give this one space. The idea is to find and identify the potential crop trees. In this case, this one's the best of these three. It has a tall bole, it's got a slightly suppressed crown, so it needs space to develop. It needs freeing from these two trees. That one there is large enough to be a production thinning harvest tree, and this one will thin to waste.
Millable stems, 30 centimetres or more in diameter, are classed as merchantable volume and need to be accounted for as harvested volume from my sustainable forest management plan. I need to number it, record its diameter at breast height and estimate its merchantable log length, all before felling it. We are in a waning moon phase, so it is tika to fell it now, according to local maramataka. Also, old European traditions too.
Right, before I drop this tree, I'm going to go out there and cut down some privet, which is a weed species, and I'll swab the stumps with a weed killer because it's easier to do it now than when it's covered in slash.
With the area now prepared, I can fell this tree without damaging the surrounding forest. spray the tree number on the log end and on the stump. This log can be easily winched out to the nearby track or from the paddock edge, which is less than 20 metres away. I'll be doing that in the summer. I'll leave the crown and foliage on for now to help wick some of the moisture out of the log. The other tree I will fell to waste, but if felling it would risk damaging valuable trees, or it was clear that it would hang up or be dangerous, then ring barking it would be an alternative option. See our separate video on ring barking tōtara. Now the crown can really develop to increase the growth rate on this clearwood bowl.
Right, this is just a simple tree selection. This one here, shorter bowl, branchy crown. We'll harvest this one to the benefit of that one. And this one, taller, skinnier, we'll leave that one to grow on. It'll be a better tree in the end.
This poor rimu tree is being monstered by this old kānuka that it's growing up through. It has a wound rubbing about 2.4 metres and kānuka branches above that are going to rub against its stem as it grows. Rimu's not a common tree in this forest, and it's not one of our target harvest species. But still, for biodiversity reasons, I want to look after these trees and release it from this kānuka. Here's a well-stocked tōtara pole stand. The trees are forming reasonable boles, they're starting to shed their lower branches, and although their crowns are competing, they're not too suppressed yet. The vigorous ones are still viable future timber trees.
The question is, do we need to thin, and to what stocking? And a quick and easy way to determine that is with a quick sample plot. 5.64 metre radius, and that's 0.1 of a hectare.
Hold the tape horizontal and go around counting every tree within that radius. You simply multiply the number of trees counted by 100, and that gives an estimate of the total stocking per hectare. I counted a total of 28 trees above 5 centimetres in diameter. 28 trees, that means 2,800 stems per hectare. But there are only 9 stems above 15 centimetres in diameter. 9 stems, that's 900 stems per hectare. In my practical guide to managing tōtara on private land, there's a chapter on thinning with a schedule for pruned stands in Table 1 on page 16. That recommends a stocking of 1,100 stems per hectare for trees with a mean diameter of 15 centimetres. But by the time the mean diameter is 25 centimetres, then the stocking should be reduced to 550 stems per hectare. In this case, the mean diameter of these bigger trees is 17 centimetres. So this stand doesn't really need thinning at this stage. We should take away the poorer trees, the ones that have obviously no merchantable potential, and the suppressed trees, and we should prune up the best of the bigger ones, and we can leave them for another 10 years or so until the mean diameter is 25 centimetres, and then we'll come back and thin it then. To summarise, freestyle silviculture is needed in naturally regenerating forests. Work with what you have. Identify the potential crop trees. They will become the frame trees of your future forest. Once they've formed acceptable boles, thin around them to keep their crowns free so they develop large diameter trunks as quickly as possible. Do everything that's needed in that area of forest. This may include pruning, thinning, harvesting, releasing, and also weed control. This is tending the forest. with a freestyle silviculture approach.
Work safely, and most importantly, enjoy it.